Yo guys, welcome back to my second episode of this podcast. And I've got the co-host with me today, Gravity Gooner. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here, you understand? I'm not even gonna lie. Feeling gassed tonight.
It's a lot. It's been a while since I've had Gravity Gooner. You're in a lot more positive mood than we were a few weeks
I
ago.
was before. Yeah, that's true.
Much more positive. So what's your opinions on Arteta?
You know what? I feel like now the players are playing for him, and then he's changed the style up a bit. Because I've always complained about how we used to have this handbrake on, and most of the players that have come into the squad right now are players who are not actually with this handbrake system and can play much more freely. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's actually helping us a lot. So the new introductions are very good.
Okay. So what's your opinion on the transfer window so far? Obviously, you know, in the transfer window. So, what's your opinion of how the transfer window has gone for us, sales and bringing in?
All right. Oh, okay. So finally, I feel like Mesut Ozil out of our books and out of our hands, being always the problem every time something goes wrong. He's the one we are talking about. He's always trending when Arsenal loses a match. Finally, we've been able to get that off our books, off our hands, off our Twitter handles, or whatever. But I feel like the team was actually regressing in a way that I felt like some of the players were actually Mesut's strengths, and then others weren't Mesut's friends. So not necessarily weren't Mesut's friends, but weren't really enthused about the whole issue. But now that he's off, now everybody has to concentrate on the real deal and actually get Arsenal into the right place.
I totally agree with you, and I'm so happy that Arsenal got rid of Özil because as I was told by very told on very high regard, you know before how when we were going through this bad patch, stuff were leaking on the media, such as players fighting, stuff that shouldn't be in the media was getting leaked into the media. And you saw Arteta say, if I find the mole, I'm going to destroy him. That was a few weeks ago, and now he's saying, I think I
He
know who
has
the
some
mole
sort of
is.
idea. Yeah, I watched that
Yeah,
interview.
I can tell you, the mole has been found.
Ah,
I know who
straight
the
up.
mole is, and I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say he will no longer be troubling us. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. He will no longer be troubling us. But I know
That's
who the
good.
mole is. And when I found this out, it did not surprise me 1 inch, because you know the person wanted to play. Him and Arteta had a disagreement, so, but I don't like that type of attitude from a player because you're not getting your way. Anyway, you know what? I'm not gonna say much more on it. Just gonna. I think I'll tell you
No
off
worries.
outside the video, but I'm not gonna say much more.
Uh, so, well, after that, I could actually talk about this. I don't know whether it's something that's relevant so far. It hasn't been confirmed, but I've seen okay, I've seen Ryan from Brighton in our transfers. That's a very good replacement for Renate because I don't feel like he's ready for the Premier League yet, and he's not going to be able to help us a lot. So he should. I feel like he's a very good replacement and he has time to develop and get us to where we want. At least Beleno can get some rest for some games to actually bring something out. I've seen he has very great distribution and that's something that we have lacked in a very long time. So somebody who is good enough to press Leno, who is Premier League tested, has a very good language system in the Premier League. It's actually a very good signing for us now. So far, confirmed signings of Ryan and the other person, and then the players that have gone out. So now I've seen Socrates, Papastathopoulos is out, Ozil is gone. We have Kolasinac off our books. So it looks like we need more of the deadwood to go though, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
You know what? I totally agree with you. When I uh saw the Ryan transfer, have you noticed it was? By the way, have you noticed that transfer happened out of nowhere? No one was talking about it.
You
Did you
understand?
notice?
It's
Yeah, I can
serious.
tell you why.
It
I
looks
can
like
tell you why.
now.
It's because us.
Mhm.
Wait, go on, go on. You're saying something.
Well, I feel like it's a good thing because every time most of our books are out there, and then teams use their PR to bully us into getting us to pay very huge sums of money for very stupid transfers and all. But now that everything is done on the low, very low, quietly, something just pops up and we are buying. It's not like we have to be linked with someone and then the person is on the PR and he's like, and Arsenal is not ready, then he's trying to use the PR to his advantage. Now everything is down directly to the club, no, mostly through without the agents knowing, just directly, and then the news doesn't actually cause lots of problems.
Yeah, that's what I like. This is the Arsenal I've wanted for so long. But that get a deal done out of nowhere. And I can tell you one reason for that is because they have basically gotten rid of the person who keeps leaking out information. The person
Hey,
that
Arsenal just scored a goal. I've seen Aziz on the score sheet.
oh, that was the academy
Woo!
match. I'm watching the academy match. Yeah, the academy match. I'm actually Balogun's playing, by the way. Which
That's cool.
what's your opinion on Balogun? I from what I've heard,
No,
he's more closer to leave than stay. He's Germany's where he's going to, definitely, if he's leaving. Either RB Leipzig, Stuttgart are very interested in him, very advanced with him in Germany. But what's your opinion on Balogun?
you know what? Balogun is the player that actually plays more like Lacazette than Aubameyang. He's a very good target man. He knows how to take on players. He's like strikers actually want to take on players, try to dribble around. Defenders come in for the ball from very deep situations, trying to pass the ball, press and all. So he has these special qualities, and he has pace. He has very good finishing. So he's a player that I actually want to pin down. So no matter the type of players that come from other teams and all, I feel like Balogun is also a very vital player because you look at his performances in the Europa League, and it's not been easy at all. The young man is actually very determined. But I've heard rumors of him demanding a lot of money and all, and I feel like if that is how we want to start up with the youngsters, that will be in a very bad place. So I feel like we should just give him the amount of money we want to give to him. And I feel like he probably deserves the amount of money that he's talking about. But as a club, to help all the young players that are coming up, to actually learn from them and all. If he doesn't want to play for us because of the money, I don't think I'll mind. I want people who believe in the process, people who trust the process, people who actually see what we are doing, who love the club enough to play for us, not chase the money. You understand? So as much as it really hurts me for him to leave, I feel like I'll be cool if he decides to go.
I've got a few things to say about this. In somewhat, I agree with you, but I actually have an opposite, like a different opinion now, and that's because of what
Oh,
I've
Balogun
heard.
just scored again.
Yeah,
It's
I
as
was
if
gonna
he's
tell you. I was
comparing
gonna
us.
tell you just now. Balogun scored in the 10th minute, just as we were talking about him. That's funny. What I've heard about Balogun is not necessarily Balogun wants to stay at Arsenal. That's what I've heard from a very good friend of mine. Balogun wants to stay at Arsenal. It's more his agent that wants to get the best deal for him. His agent wants 60K per week. Now, for a player, personally for me, that's played 2 games, I don't care if you scored 2 goals in that 2 games. You could have Eddie Nketiah has a better record than Balogun, don't you know? And look how much he's struggling. To demand 60K for scoring 2 games and demanding first team appearances, that's not the type of mentality I want. I want to like for example, Emil Smith Rowe. He waited his time. He waited
Yeah,
his
I
time.
understand. He waited for his time. Yeah. And I feel like Balogun is one of the very few young players that have been given out a very straight breakout season directly into the Europa League. He just came out of nowhere and he started playing in the first team. He just started. It's not like he went through a very long process of sitting on the bench, being called up into training without playing and all. He didn't really struggle to actually make it into the first team. And he deserves it because he's a very good player. But if he's demanding for first team in the Premier League and all, I feel like it's
He's
going to be a
demanding
very
more
rash
than
decision.
Emil Smith Rowe on what Saka is currently on. And no offense,
I
Saka and
understand.
Emil Smith Rowe are better. He's demanding 60K.
Yeah.
60K. For me, if Arsenal do that, that's setting a bad example to all the players that want to come and all the youngsters that want to get through. So for
Exactly what
me,
you're talking about.
if Balogun really wants that 60K, he can go and take that 60K somewhere else. Don't forget, we still have John Jules. We still have that Swedish guy. in that plays in the under 23s as well, who are just as talented. Well, Juan Jules has the same potential as Balogun does. He's more of a Lacazette player. He's literally the exact replica of Lacazette. So if Balogun leaves, we have strikers to replace him. That's how I
I
feel
feel
on
like
it.
most of the Arsenal fans don't want to have their youngsters leave because of what has happened with Naby. We all want to keep our players because we feel like if they go somewhere else and go and shine, it's very difficult for us to watch. So it looks like we actually want to pin down our young players and have them around us because we see the talent that they are showing, and it'll be very difficult to see them play for other teams when we struggle at a point in time. You understand? I understand the Arsenal fan base, but I don't think this is the right way to go if you want to go about it.
Anyway, enough about. What's your opinion on Kolasinac going? Socrates terminating his contract. What's your opinion on those two players? What did you
You know
think?
what? I really like the way those two brothers actually handled their situation. Even though Kolasinac had like very few games, every time he came, you could actually see that he was giving it all, even though probably sometimes his ability wasn't up to what we required. But I see players like Socrates and going down to go and play for the U team without complaining, never coming out of the PR. At a point, I actually forgotten that he has a Twitter account now, you understand? But he handled it so professionally. And then finally he's out, and I feel like he ended on a good note as compared to probably Mesut Ozil or something. But I feel like he handled the situation quite quietly, and he went out in a very peaceful note. And Arsenal was actually free from all this. Luckily, the final number 5 share can actually go to Thomas Partey, who's actually been eyeing it for a long time.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you in terms of the way Socrates handled it professionally. He took it very well from what I he took it very well. It was by mutual consent. Like it wasn't like Arsenal went, all right, here you go. They both agreed. Which look at Özil. Do you no dig at Özil? I think what Özil's doing is brilliant. In fact, I'm so happy for Özil. But I'm just saying, like the way Socrates handled it was very professional. What about Odegaard coming in? Or who do you prefer, Odegaard or Buendia?
You know what? That's a very tough call. But I actually haven't seen a lot of Buendia, and I really could care less because he's tried and tested in the Premier League and he's doing well. So I actually remember links where Said Ben Rama, Buendia, and Cantwell. These were like the 3 players that we're all looking at. And Ben Rama went to West Ham. Yeah, West Ham, and he's doing so well. And I've seen Cantwell actually in the championship, and he's doing quite well as well. But I actually haven't seen a lot of Buendia, but I feel like if he's going to demand for the amount of money that I've seen, I don't think I'll like players like that. It would be like because we actually desperately need a creative player. Everybody's trying to bully us with any amount. Because if 40 million for Buendia, I'd rather go Awa, you understand? It's like I'm just trying to say I hate the brother, I don't like him or anything. But I feel like Awa is a better all-rounded player to fit into Arsenal's midfield than Buendia because Buendia is more of an attacking midfielder, and Awa is actually both. It could really be a very good partner to Partey. And I feel like Arsenal couldn't buy Awa because he actually completed Partey's transfer and his agent was demanding for all that money. But if you're going to spend 40 million on Buendia, I'd rather go Awa because he's as my brother was actually saying here, a box-to-box kind of player. You can actually assist Partey defensively and still go out and make those. I actually love those players that make those cutting passes. They pass through the midfielders, they pass through the defenders, catch players that are running behind and all. So I feel like Buendia would actually be a very good player because he's played in the PL. He has actually played a PL before. But Odegaard is actually a very great talent. He has played for a very big team. So the pressure of playing for a very big club and handling all the stress of bad days and all, it's actually been there before. And he knows how to fight against very big players like Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, Valverde. He's played with defenders like Sergio Ramos. He knows how to train. He knows the right attitude to play, and he's a young player as well. So Odegaard is a very good transfer. If you're able to do it, of course, I'll be very glad. So that in a case that you have to play against a low block team, you have our brother Smith Rowe and Odegaard actually playing that midfield with probably Saka and Martinelli on both sides of the pitch to actually try and break them down. But if we get Buendia for a much cheaper price, I think I'll go with that one. But if we don't get him and we get Odegaard for this loan, probably an option to buy. I think that'll be cool.
Like, bro, like what I know from people I've spoken to, um, Buendia's not rated at 40 million. That's Norwich are just trying to. What I know is that Norwich are trying to scare off Arsenal. Norwich don't actually like believe Arsenal are gonna pay 40 million, so they're scaring off Arsenal with a ridiculous price. They don't value him for. He's more 20 million, 25 at most,
25 million. Yeah, I understand. That's it.
but he's not 40
It's
million.
actually fine.
And if Erdegaard's on loan with a buyout option of 35 to 40 in the summer, that's why I've heard that Arsenal are like basically what Arsenal are doing is Arsenal taking him on loan for 6 months and then they'll meet again. And then the price Real Madrid will sell him for is £35 million. So if that's the case, then I think that's a very good deal for both parties. But have you seen, do you know who AFC Bell is?
Nope.
AFC Bell on Twitter.
Yeah, I know him. I know him on Twitter, but I feel like I know him personally.
Oh, no, no. I like, he just said, I've just seen now on Twitter, he said the Odegaard deal's in danger because of a medical with his shoulder.
I
He
think
thinks.
that's a. I've seen that post too. The AFC Bell didn't post that.
Oh,
That
let
was
me
probably the AFC Bell one. Yeah, it's a wrong account.
well, let me double
The
check. Let me double check. But I actually think because I just saw that I
the,
saw
the
that
latest
earlier.
one from that one from AFC Bell one is like a mimic account. The original account says after the consultation session between Odegaard and his close circle, the players decided to accept Arsenal's offer. Sources close to the player confirmed that there's an agreement in principle on the deal that will be announced as soon as possible. Arsenal Real Madrid talks are about to come to an end about the merits of the deal.
Oh, that was a fake account. Oh my gosh, I got baited by a fake account.
Understand? Because we love our club. And I don't think we
I was
actually want injuries to
I
disturb it.
was going to say I just saw that now and I was like, what? No way! What? Just start up, but we're getting Odegaard, and I'm so happy for that. I think he's very, very talented. And what I've heard is I've had a few. Like today, I've had a meeting with my sources, so I'm filled up with Arsenal, and I'm really excited. First of all, what I know is Arsenal going to get Odegaard. They might try again for Buendia later in the January window, but I don't think
Really? That's like three creative players.
it's no. But it's highly unlikely. I'm not going to make promise. I'm not sure. Arsenal might. The Arteta really likes him, Buendia, but he might. They might go back in for him. What else I know is that Arsenal are not even done yet, surprising Arsenal fans. I'm not there's a few
Ha.
players that Arsenal I've contacted that are gonna surprise everybody. Everyone's gonna be like, what? Where did that come from? How did that happen? It's going to shock everybody to the point like they're gonna be so happy. That's what I've heard. So Arsenal are not done yet. They've got one more trick up their sleeve. It might not be now. It might be on deadline day. Expect stuff on deadline day because that's what Arsenal always do their business.
That's currently more like the Arsenal culture now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it's more like deadline day. But there's still a few tricks Arsenal have up their sleeve to do once they confirm
I
Odegaard.
just saw a picture of Partey and Ainsley, and I'm so excited. I don't know. I actually love Ainsley so much, and I feel like if he wants to play in the midfield, they should give
Really?
him a chance.
You like
That's,
Ainsley?
yeah,
Didn't you see the
of
game
course.
he had?
And he never fret. Understand? So we need players like that. He can play mostly most of the positions.
Then
But
you're gonna be
left
quite
back,
disappointed with what I've heard.
really, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's a player that Ateta actually loves, and
Actually,
I don't think they'll actually allow him to go.
Arsenal might be open to sell him. That's what I've heard. Arsenal might be open to sell Ainsley. They even tried to offer Ainsley to Brighton. I don't know how that went for Basuma. You know the
That'll be
D
a
to
place.
play next to Partey. They see Basuma and Partey together as a good working partnership. Arsenal have their wish list.
You see
Ainsley
that.
for
I've
Basuma.
seen Partey and Ainsley, and I feel like Ainsley can actually work his way through this. Partey can actually give him some tips You understand? Because Ainsley is a very good that day. He was playing probably out of position. He struggled a bit. But even with that, when we changed for Saka to play in the left back, we saw a brother that was worth 72 million pounds come and just mess up on the right side of the attack. So I feel like if somebody has to go, we should probably get 45 million for that 72 million pound player and just get him out. Because I know the young players are playing with so much stress, so much pace, so much power, and then you have a 72-year-old, 72 million worth player coming to mess up. I feel like if somebody has to leave, you can just. So I feel like I actually love Ainsley a lot. I feel like he can actually work his way through this because we've had players like that who've gone through very well. Now the players like David Luiz are doing extremely well.
Bellerin might
I'm
go.
actually okay, cool.
Bellerin might go. Um, Willian's going. Willian's definitely going. That was a terrible
Really,
mistake by the board. Yeah, Willian is definitely going. Oh, not maybe not in January, but definitely in the summer. They're gonna do everything they can.
really.
Yeah, he
Okay,
was.
so he'll go, but I hope you get like 8 million on him or something.
He's one of the problems that was going on at Arsenal. Very he was the reason why David Luiz and Ceballos had that fight that spilled in the media. He's
Yeah,
not a very he's not very yeah, he's Arsenal made a mistake with that signing. I can tell you that. They really want him out. And what's annoying is that they gave him 132 grand. I think he's the four. I think it's the third highest paid player in the Quartz club. Third,
really.
Willian. Oh, anyway. So on this from 1 to 10, what would you rate the transfer window so far?
So far, so how many players are we talking about? The Deadwood and the
Yeah,
new players
including the
coming in.
Deadwood and the signings you brought in.
Okay, I'll give Arsenal a 7. We've been actually around that place for a long time now. So in the summer we had the 7. I think I'll give Arsenal a 7. We can be able to complete ours. I'd have probably given Arsenal a 9.9. Because we didn't get our, I'll actually give Arsenal a 7 because that's like half the problem solved. And now we've got a creative player as well. And if Odegaard, I just don't want to say it as if it's confirmed yet. So I'll say if the players that we've got out, I'll give Arsenal a 7. Probably if we add the Odegaard transfer fee, that will make it 3. But if we're able to get just our in the summer, that would be a very fantastic.
I totally agree with you. I think it's been a good transfer window so far, but let's not get carried away. We have to wait for Odegaard to sign. For me, I'm gonna say a 7 as well, but we at the end of the day we have to wait for Odegaard to sign for it to go a little bit higher. So tomorrow's game against Southampton in the FA Cup, score prediction, lineup, and yeah, tell me your score prediction and lineup.
So let's call it a revenge. I feel like Arsenal is going all out on that game. We'll probably get a 4-0 win, depending on the squad that set up. 4-0, a clean sheet, 4 goals. 4-0.
Big statement. I was gonna say like 2-1,
Yeah,
but
4
you're
nil.
optimistic, very optimistic. Oh, 4-0.
Ah, nah. It depends on the squad that Arteta plays. So
He might play Matt
it
Ryan.
looks like usually in those,
Matt Ryan's
yeah,
already in
it's
training.
possible. Yeah, I really don't care who actually plays, but I feel like this would be a good time to get Gabriel back into the squad, so we can actually put Gabriel in there and probably pair him up with Holding, and that would be cool.
Oh, I just got a message from my source. I can at least I can tell you another thing. Arsenal are talking with Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. Speaking of
Yeah, I saw
Southampton,
that one.
the left back.
Yeah,
That's cover for
I saw that
Bellerin.
one. He here.
That's cover for Bellerin because
Yeah,
we sold Kolasinac and we have no backup left back.
yeah,
So if Arsenal manage to get Bertrand,
and
Odegaard,
we're
and
not planning to
Ryan,
play
but they would have to sell someone, and who would that be? Ainsley, Bellerin,
sell someone.
Pepe.
Well, hey, I feel like if we sell Pepe right now, you actually lose a lot of money because there's nobody who's going to buy him for 70 or any amount close to that.
You know what?
So we'll
You're right.
probably have
I
to
don't
allow
think
him
they'll
to
sell Pepe.
yeah,
I
because they would
think I
have to
think they
allow
might
him
use
to
him for a
go.
swap deal for a certain
I don't know
somebody
what I
from
don't know any
Borussia
club that will
Dortmund.
actually want to. I don't know. But
I think Pepe might be swapped for a certain somebody from Borussia Dortmund, who Manchester United tried to buy in the summer. Because what I know is that the Kroenkes are backing Arteta in the summer. That's why they're clearing out now, and they're gonna clear out. You notice, guess how many players that Arsenal they need? Like for example, Arsenal are losing Luis. They're gonna try to sell Willian, Mustafi,
yeah,
Lacazette,
yeah.
Nketiah. Nketiah is linked with Wolves and Brighton. Wolves wanted
You
to
say
get him, but I
Lacazette.
don't think they are. So
You say Lacazette.
no, no, not Lacazette. No, because he's on his last year of his contract. So
Okay.
rather than let him go for free, what are they gonna do? Sell him and or let him go for free? That's what I'm saying. Like they need to make these decisions.
Okay.
What I've heard is that Arsenal, as much as they really like Lacazette and his work rate, they need to replace him with the younger players. Don't forget, Aubameyang's aging too. We need to rebuild a whole new squad.
But I feel like Oba actually has to get a major trophy before he leaves. And be a Premier League and Europa
Oh,
League.
that's why I want to win the Europa League so badly.
Now we have the resources to actually take the Europa League. We just have to play the right side of the right moment. Get most of the players to the team. Play them out away. And so we just
Anyway, thank you, Gravity Gooner. As always, that's how we're gonna leave the podcast today. Thank you, Gravity Gooner, for being such a good co-host as you are, and I hope to see you more often. It's been a while. Hello,
it's my pleasure.
and thank you to you guys for watching the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, see you everyone.